Today we are going to get career advice from Spirit for you at the time you view this video, and we're going to do that by getting a card from each one of these decks. Well, I think I'm going to start with this deck. This top card is speaking to me, so I'm going to keep it, and then we'll get one more from this deck, please. This is the Science of Mind deck, the Wisdom Oracle deck. Science of Mind was written by Ernest Holmes. Okay, one more card from this deck, please. Ooh, this one. Okay, your power and creative thought. They have more information on the back that we'll read in a moment. But let's get a tarot card from this deck, please. Career advice at the time they view this video. Okay, those two flew out. We'll take two. King of Swords upright and the Eight of Swords, ooh, in reverse. That's exciting, okay? And then one more card here. I guess we'll just get two. We'll get two from this deck too, since we got two from the other ones. Okay, so two cards, please. Two clarifying cards for the viewer at the time they view this video. Career advice, please. Career advice from Spirit. Two cards, please. There we go. Anxiety reversed and rest in reverse. Okay, so let's begin by reading the middle two cards, starting with your power. There is no power in the universe but ourselves that can free us. Ooh, isn't that the most comforting and scary thought on the planet? This is like the most joyful, exciting thought, and like the thought like that terrifies me the most, right? It's so true though, isn't it? There's no power in the universe but ourselves that can free us. But you know what? That speaks about this Eight of Swords. Because Eight of Swords in a typical tarot deck is like the imagery is typically like a person bound. She has like swords around her, and then she's blindfolded, I believe, and she's like her hands are bound. But what's often talked about is like she could easily unbind herself if she wanted to. So what I'm seeing here though, with it being in reverse, is that there's an unbinding that's happening for you that either your career journey is a catalyst for, or as you're doing this in your personal life, is going to positively affect your career journey. So kudos to you. That's amazing. And Eight of Swords is one of the most, to me at least, one of the most uncomfortable cards in the tarot deck. So I often like to see it in reverse because it really shows me that somebody is coming into their own true power. Oh my gosh. And you know what's wild? For this reading, I felt called to use this particular arrangement with obviously these wildflowers, yellow here, and yellow is the solar plex. Yellow. Okay, so with our energy centers, our chakra centers, they each have a different color that represents them. Yellow is the energy center of empowerment. It's our solar plexus center. So it's that space above our belly button, right at the center of our being. So there's a big message here that you have been and you are coming into your own true power, and that is important work that you're doing, and it will expand positively to your career path. So a lot of coming into our own true power is a very personal healing path, right? And so maybe part of what wants to be said is like sometimes it can feel like that like the time and energy, money, resources we're putting into that isn't worth it. But I'm getting the strong sense here that the work that you're doing here is incredibly worth it, and in a tangible sense. Do you know what I'm saying? So like sometimes we can feel the healing happening, right? We can feel more empowered. We can feel lighter. We can feel relief. We can feel things in our life getting healthier. But sometimes it's like, but I also have to do work, and I have this whole career thing I've got to figure out. So I really feel like a strong message for this reading at the time you view this is keep going with your personal healing. Whatever is doing that is helping you feel a stronger sense of true power in your life is really important, and it will eventually, if it isn't already, it will ripple out and generalize to your career path having an extremely positive effect on your career path. Now, another interesting thing coming through is this creative thought, because look at, I just noticed it has wildflowers on it. So here we have the yellow coming out, all about empowerment. And then we have the wildflowers, and it's creative thought. So we'll see what it says on the back, but there is a sense here of wildness, joy, freedom. So I think like along with there being the message that trusting that the healing work that you're doing, coming into your own power, will positively affect your career. I think there's something here too about like the more you can maximize joy, play, maybe even rest. I don't know exactly what wants to be said with these two cards quite yet, but the more you can like do things in alignment with Mother Nature's laws, Mother God's laws, with wildness, colorful, creative, joyful play. We often don't think those things will work in terms of our career, right? but I think like there's definitely a call here where like healing and creativity are like where it's at for you right now. I think that will definitely be a personal journey and will positively affect you personally. But what wants to be said is you can bring it eventually, if you aren't already, into your creative path, and it will positively affect it there. So let's see what the creative thought says. We must say that all thought is creative according to the nature, impulse, emotion, or conviction behind the thought. So not only is there like a call to wildness here, but I think it's another power card, frankly, because it's basically saying you are power. You have been given innate power. Each of us is living what we are thinking and what we are being. And so I think it's a reminder to notice that innate power. And this comes through a lot in these readings, but I feel called to say it again. And it's the idea that came to me from a guy named Daryl Inca, who channels an entity known as Bashar. And what Bashar says is that we are always essentially 100% powerful. We are always essentially 100% masterful. We are always 100% trusting something. So it's never about building our power. It's never about building our trust. It's never even about like building our creativity. We're always 100% creative. It's just how we funnel that innate sacred energy. And if we start to think about it, and that was helpful for me to learn, because I wanted to be a more creative being. I wanted to be a more trusting being in the universe, right? I wanted to be all these wonderful things, but I didn't know how to build it. So when I was made aware that it's not about building it, it's about noticing where you're funneling it, where you're putting that innate power to, that 100% power behind, and realizing that it's a moment-to-moment thing. So the more you can catch yourself, I think, the more power you will build. So catch where your 100% creative energy is going to. Is it going to boredom? Is it going to staying stuck? Like, because we can be masterful at keeping ourselves staying stuck, and we can be really creative at keeping ourselves staying bored and stuck. Do you get what I mean? So I think there's something here about that, like realizing always you are life, and life is 100%. And instead of trying to build that energy, just notice where you're funneling it, and notice when you're not funneling it in the direction that you want to, and praise yourself for that awareness, because that awareness is huge. When we are aware, when we become aware of a negative thing, that's actually a positive act. Does that make sense? And so when we can catch ourselves, and maybe that's what the King of Swords is speaking about, like, because a lot of times, like, swords to me represent like where energy is going, a precision of energy, right? So sometimes they represent strategy, sometimes they represent boundaries, sometimes they represent thinking. But in this reading, and that's kind of all the same thing to a certain extent, right? But in this reading, it's definitely like, look at where your energy is going, okay? Look at where your energy is going. So we always have 100% energy or 100% power. Our true power lies in where it goes, right? How we funnel it. So we can be masterful. We can funnel that 100% masterful energy to being really limited, to being really stuck. And we can come up with all these creative ways to keep ourselves stuck, right? And so I think it's really, really about looking at how you're funneling your energy. And I think like the King of Swords, it's, you know, the masculine version of this. So I think what that's saying is like, so looking at where you're funneling your energy is a little bit ethereal, right? But what this is saying to me is like, be very logical about it. Like, think about it in very logical terms and realize that this is a huge part of unlocking more success on your career path, is being logical about where you're funneling all this power that you have. Okay? Gosh, I'm like building in excitement for you, and it's almost like I'm feeling your power as we speak. So I feel like the personal journey you're on right now is really important to your career journey, and I feel you as a powerful being. And again, as I say, that's kind of a paradox, because I think like we're all equally powerful, right? But I think you've clearly done a lot of work in terms of how you're unbinding yourself and then funneling your power, because the like illusion it's giving me is like you're more powerful than others, and I don't say that so that you have some sort of permission slip to have power over others. I say that more just to acknowledge the work that you've already done, and advice from Spirit at the time of this video is keep doing it. It's building in momentum. So although we can't, we're always 100% powerful, so you can't be 110% powerful, right? The times that we take that 100% power and we funnel it in a better direction instead of a worse direction, right? That can build momentum. And I think that's what I'm feeling for you. I'm feeling that you've built momentum. And as we speak more here, it's like I'm feeling that momentum build, and it's very, very exciting. Okay, so let's see what wants to come through with these cards. I do think this is giving me the essence of the Eight of Swords. So I think you've done a lot of liberation. So you've released yourself from a lot of anxiety that was binding you before. So, or being bound by beliefs, definitions, ways of being that was causing anxiety, or maybe more accurately put, anxiety was a messenger that you had these. I feel like this is being liberated. I wonder if just the message of the rest card in reverse is just to get more rest. That feels accurate to me. Like, so there's a invitation here to trust play, to trust wildness, to trust creativity and curiosity, things that in our conventional culture we aren't always given permission to trust. And so I think that might be like, I wonder if in reverse it was just saying like, you're not getting quite enough rest. So permission to rest a little more would be helpful in all areas of your life, including your career path, as contradictory as that may seem, considering what we conventionally think. Like we should just like work harder and longer to progress on our career path. Well, I think that's pretty, we're all seeing that we're all just getting super burnt out. So there's like an old paradigm, new paradigm thing that's going on here, and you're clearly entering a new paradigm where eventually things like more rest and more play, more creativity are going to play out in a tangible way in your career. I think, just like it's interesting. There's a bit of a paradox here, actually, like where it's like, be more clear, but more free. Do you know what I mean? Stand in your power, and like both things can be true. Standing in your power and being clear about where your energy is going is also, and being more playful, curious, and resting more can all coexist. Does that make sense? And actually that feels a lot healthier, doesn't it? Like us as humans, we are not machines. We are beings who are supposed to have fun, and we're supposed to work, and we're also supposed to rest, and you know what I mean? So there seems like this like humanizing that's happening with you that's really, really beautiful, that eventually, you're going from thinking you have to be a machine in your career to realizing you can be a human, which is great. because you are human. Do you know what I mean? And I think too, maybe that is what the rest card in reverse wanted to say, where it was like, all of that takes a lot of energy for your body to rewire in this way, to heal and rewire in a way where you're, instead of funneling your 100% trust and 100% power to the old paradigm where it's work harder and longer to be successful in your career, you're healing and funneling your 100% power and 100% trust to the new paradigm, which is I can be human, I can take care of myself, I can be a vast creative being, and be successful and be helpful. And actually, that's how I can be the most successful and be of the most service. That transition that you seem to be doing in a very authentic, natural, organic way just requires a lot from our system, from our energetic system and our psyche and our body. And so I think the more you can maximize rest, that's going to help you integrate all this learning and healing that you're doing so that you can embody it more. And then, so it's like rest is going to allow you to embody. And with embodiment comes change. You know what I mean? Because we can theoretically think something, but it isn't until we know it in our being, in other words, we embody it, that we are projecting being a different energy. And that's when things truly change. So I think, again, sort of paradoxically, it's the rest that's going to unlock a noticeable change for you in your career journey, on your career path, because it's going to help you embody in a very tangible sense all this emotional labor, healing, energetic work that you've been doing. So I'm very excited for you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for letting me read for you. I can feel your power, your momentum, your kind, beautiful intention. And so honestly, the only advice, so to speak, I have for you is just keep going. Do what you've already been doing and just add a little more compassion for yourself, self-care, and like acknowledgement that what you are doing is really worth it and important.